Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. Let's have a look at my account in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and then we are going to take down the 3-star version of Shiva, and we will get all the missions here, and we will not use a magic tank or an evade tank, which seem to be the most recommended characters for this fight. But anyway, first here we'll look at Gladiolus, and then his job is to be the coverall physical tank. So he'll jump in front of everybody, take all of those attacks. Shiva's attack value is very high, so I'm going to break it, and then hopefully the new attacks will be low enough that Gladiolus will be able to survive. So I basically gave him a whole bunch of just defense and then HP up stuff, and then a little bit of ice resistance, so he could get 30%. And all of the members of my team, they have at least 30%, so that'll work out. And next up is Ramza. I just gave him a bunch of spirit and then some ice resistance as well. The spirit is good because that affects how much healing it does from his hero's run. But his job is to break the boss's attack. My Ramza is fully upgraded, I think, enhanced. And then he'll sing his hero's rhyme in between. And yeah, the break, it does last long enough that I can sing in between. Next up is Minfilia, and then her job is to cast the ice resistance on everybody. That will give 70% to everyone, and so 70 plus 30 is 100, so that would mean total resistance to the ice damage. And then otherwise, I also gave her the Ifrit Esper, so she could summon that and then get that mission clear. But that means she'll need extra ice resistance, so that's why I have all of that stuff there. Next up is Ayaka, and she's got all of her usual stuff. She's just going to heal and then re-raise, and then also cast a Dispelga on my own team, because sometimes we will be hit with a ice imperil. So to get rid of that, we'll use Ayaka. And then finally, my single damage source is Explorer Eileen, and I'm a big fan of the single damage source way of playing. Lots of people like to play with like 2 chainers and then possibly a finisher to cap that chain. But I like to take it slow, so just the single damage source. That's Explorer Eileen here. She's good at both true double hand and dual wield, but I went for the dual wield because she can use her pile driver and then get in 2 attacks, and then each attack will fill her limit break gauge, and then the limit break is going to be where her true damage comes. And then once I use limit break, that'll also set up the finishing blow, which will also be great damage. But yeah, I gave her a fire element fist because the boss is weak against fire, and then just a bunch of attack stuff and a little bit of ice resistance. But yeah, that is how we are looking, and let's move over to the fight. Okay, so I need to take more than 5 turns. That is definitely going to happen. We'll evoke Ifrit. If I remember to do that, that will happen. And then party of 5 or less, I have 5, so yeah. Not too difficult to get these missions. And yeah, Shiva, she's always been my favorite Esper in every single version of Final Fantasy. So yeah, very happy to get this. And I'll probably max out her level. I didn't do that for Siren or Ifrit, but I'll try that for Shiva. Alright, Gladiolus will cover all. Ramza will break the boss's attack. Minfilia will cast the ice resistance on everybody. And then Ayaka, depending on what I need, she'll do that. When there's nothing else for her to do, she'll just spam re-raise on people. And then Explorer Eileen will build up her limit break gauge and do a little bit of damage with her pile driver. Alright, so there's that big physical attack, but Gladiolus was able to cover everyone and then come back from the re-raise. Every time he goes down, he loses his ice resistance, so I want to use that again with Minfilia. And Ayako will cast Re-Raise on Gladiolus and also heal everybody. Ramza can sing. That will make it so that I can't use him for the next 3 turns because he'll be busy singing. But the break should last longer than that, so that'll be alright. And then Ophelia, she has the Ankh from the Lara Croft collaboration event, so she can cast Re-Raise on herself. And then Gladiolus will block, and that will decrease the damage that he takes from these physical attacks. So yeah, about 100 or 200 damage from each of the physical attacks. All of the ice damage is resisted because of the shield that Ophelia put up on everybody. And Explore Eileen, her limit break gauge is full, so now she can start using her attacks there to do some real damage. Ramza cannot act because he is still singing. And let's put up the Frozen Guard again. I think that was for Gladiolus. Alright, pretty crazy damage there. Yeah, Explore Eileen, she's still one of my favorite characters to use. Alright, and then Ayaka's going to look for stuff to do. Gladiolus, he always needs Re-Raise on himself, and he always needs full HP. If he does not, or if he does have one or both of those things, that frees me up some turns to put more Re-Raises on more other people, so. Okay, so almost no damage to Gladiolus there, that's pretty good. And that comes from him guarding, and then also have the boss's breaks, and then also the buff from Hero's Rhyme, so. Yeah, no need for evade or magic tank. Alright, and that's pretty much the fight. When we take Shiva below thresholds, then she will cast a spell on us, which will lower our ice resistance. We can get rid of that by using Dispelga on ourselves. Usually this is only available to be used on enemies. But if we cast the Dispelga as the second spell, like if we're dual casting with Ayaka, we cast some other spell first. It might be Curaga, it could be Libra, or anything. During that animation, we'll long tap on one of my characters, and then we'll hit that target button, and then that will change the target of that Dispelga from the enemy to our team. So that's how we can get rid of the ice resistance. One thing about that, though, is that it gets rid of all of the like the Re-Raises and the buffs, and even Gladiolus's guard, I think. So I have to make that like the absolute first thing that I do, just so I can use all my other characters to put up all those buffs and you know, statuses and stuff afterwards. And then the attacks after that, those are kind of the most damaging attacks, just because we've gotten rid of those buffs and things, so we need to be careful then. Alright, but let's speed it up here, and then I think we'll just go all the way to the end, since it's pretty much the same throughout the fight. Okay, turn 31, Shiva has 5% HP left. And then one thing that Ramza has been doing has been entrusting his limit break gauge to other characters. The first time that he did it for Ayaka. Her limit break gauge takes a long time to fill, but it can revive all my guys and also heal them, and then also cure status ailments. So it's kind of a good get out of jail free card. But I never actually needed it for her, because this run was pretty reliable. So then I started to use Ramza's Entrust on Explore Eileen, just to get out her limit break and then her finishing blow out faster, so I could get out more damage faster. And yeah, that all worked out pretty well. And a lot of the turns, Gladiolus is the only one to take damage, so if he can get enough mechanical hearts in there to restore his HP, then I don't even need any healing, and so that totally frees up Ayaka to do whatever. Alright, I tried to finish with Gladiolus's limit break. It wasn't quite enough, so we just did a pile driver with Explore Eileen, and that was that. Alright, so that was Shiva. Okay, 100 Lapis, thank you. We have the 2-year anniversary coming up pretty soon, and from what I hear, there will be a chance at an 11 shot with a guaranteed 5-star, and that will cost 5,000. So I'm going to save my Lapis for that. And yeah, there are all the missions. I'm using my Trust Moogles at the moment to use on Knight Delita so I can get the Grand Armor, and then put that on my Gladiolus, whom I love very much. Alrighty. Hopefully that was interesting and or helpful, and we'll see you again. Take care.